From glowing orbs lighting up the skies of Alaska to Bigfoot sightings deep in Southern California, these are the latest mysteries that will leave you questioning reality. On the 26th of August, a post was made on the subreddit The Bigfoot Files. It was titled, "Found: Possible Bigfoot Footprint Found in San Bernardino National Forest." And that is exactly what the image showed. A massive footprint on the ground, with a clear heel and visible toes. But the uploader was convinced it wasn't human. This is a footprint I found while hiking off trail in a canyon in the San Bernardino National Forest back in March 2021. There were a few other toe impressions, but this was the only footprint. The size was actually about the length of my foot, men's 12, but the width was about double. As expected, people were skeptical, claiming it was nothing unusual, maybe just overlapping impressions. Looks like a front and rear paw print. But then, one comment stood out and made much more sense. Looks like a large footprint covering deer tracks to me. I think Bigfoot was stalking dinner. And that's interesting, because throughout history, there have been many reports of Bigfoot tracking deer. What makes this even more compelling is that the footprint was found in the same area where the famous hiker photo was taken. The very photo that many tried to dismiss as pareidolia, but no one could ever disprove. On top of that, California has long been considered a Bigfoot hotspot. In the 1970s, the Antelope Valley saw a particular zeal in finding the creature, with locals regularly documenting sightings and even taking plaster casts of footprints. These footprints are a massive 19 to 22 inches in length and 10 inches in width. The creature's strides are said to be a full 5 feet. Skeptics tried debunking them by having a man, 6 feet 5 inches, 220 pounds, run around making his own tracks. But even those didn't come close to matching what had been found. That left many convinced the original prints were genuine. And let's not forget, this is also the same place where Claudia Ackley devoted her life to proving Bigfoot's existence. She firmly believed she had seen them multiple times herself, and she fought for them to be recognized as a real species. So when you put all this together, the prints, the history, the sightings, it makes that recent San Bernardino footprint all the more intriguing. In 2024, a man was taking a walk along the new Hudson River in New York when he stumbled across a chilling discovery. This is what he saw: a massive carcass of what looked like some kind of sea creature that had washed ashore. The body seemed drained of blood, leaving behind only a wide, gaping mouth and patches of scales across its body. Naturally, this left many confused about what exactly it could be. That's when someone brought up the infamous Hook Island sea monster. The Hook Island sea monster, also known as the tadpole creature, was a 90-foot sea monster reportedly sighted off the coast of Hook Island in 1964. Witnesses described it as resembling a giant black tadpole, with a gaping mouth full of small teeth and eyes set high on its head. The creature bore a resemblance to the so-called yellow belly sea monster, except for its color. Robert Lasarek and his family claim to have seen it as it moved toward their boat with its mouth open, seemingly ready to attack. They even noticed that its tail appeared to be injured, possibly by a ship's propeller or a larger predator. But moving away from legends, the comment section on the post had a more practical suggestion. Sturgeon, I think. And honestly, that made a lot more sense. The large diamondback sturgeon bears a striking resemblance to the carcass, especially in size and shape, though without the coloration. For context, sturgeon are among the oldest fish species in existence, often called living fossils. They can grow to enormous lengths, sometimes over 12 feet, and weigh hundreds of pounds. Their bony plates, elongated bodies, and unique mouths make them easily mistaken for something far stranger, especially when partially decomposed. And this isn't the first time a washed-up sturgeon has sparked confusion. Over the years, multiple sightings and strandings have led people to mistake them for monsters of the deep. Considering the species is endangered, rare encounters like this stand out even more. So while the Hook Island sea monster makes for a wild theory, the truth is probably less mysterious. A giant old river fish like the sturgeon could easily explain what washed up on the Hudson. In 2018, a woman named Adri Gaetan was walking with her father near the Cave of the Bats in Nuevo Leon, Mexico, when she took a picture that would later go viral. At first, it looked like just a normal photo of her father standing in front of the cave. But when they looked closer, they noticed something strange in the background. A dark, winged figure flying over the trees. Adri shared, "This photo was taken on Saturday when we went to the Cave of the Bats, and the person posing is my father. But when we looked closely at the photo, we noticed something flying away. We tried to find a logical explanation, like some kind of animal, but to be honest, it doesn't look like anything familiar. I can even see legs. Could it be the famous Birdman? Judge for yourselves." And this is where the story gets interesting, because Nuevo Leon has had a legend about a winged humanoid creature for over 100 years, known as the Birdman. The earliest reports go back to 1877, when locals in Higueras and Marin swore they saw a man flying over their church. Then, in the late 19th century, another case from La Huasteca Park described huge footprints on the ground and a creature with black wings taking off toward the river. For decades, hunters and hikers in the region claimed to see the same thing. The Birdman is often compared to the Mothman of West Virginia. Both are described as tall, winged humanoids, often seen in remote areas, and always surrounded by mystery. And the cave where Adri took the photo isn't just a tourist spot. It's home to nearly 5 million bats, and has long been tied to the legend, with many locals believing the Birdman actually lives there. For some, it's nothing more than an eagle carrying a rabbit in its claws. But for others, it's proof that the Birdman really exists. In August 2025, a man was going through some New Year fireworks videos he had recorded a year or two earlier when he noticed something strange. As he replayed the footage again and again, he got more and more confused. This is what the video showed. Amid the usual fireworks, something was flying across the sky. It didn't look like a plane. It didn't look like a drone. So then, what was it? According to the uploader, it looked like a little orb shooting across the sky. There are several of them. For information, they are too fast to be planes, and drones weren't allowed to be that high or anywhere near the fireworks due to the campus rule. But here's the thing, those orbs didn't look small at all. They were clear, defined, and moving fast. That's when the theories started rolling in. Some pointed to lens flares from cars. Others said maybe a drone somehow slipped by. But what everyone seemed to forget was that the video was recorded in Alaska, the very place that's been famous for one thing for decades now: UFO sightings. And this wasn't the only video. Just a few years earlier, in 2022, another clip surfaced showing something similar.
Okay, stop saying it's a balloon.
Okay, look! Balloons don't do that! Where is it? No, there it is.
Oh, no.
A balloon wouldn't do that.
This time, people were quick to decide what it was. It's a revolving cube UFO, trust me. And as if that wasn't enough, more videos have been popping up throughout 2025. People all across Alaska have been recording strange lights, odd shapes, and unexplained movements in the sky. Like this one on TikTok.
Those are not airplanes. And like I said, I'm recording this literally through my iPhone. I'm moving the camera. Like this. These objects they look to be round shaped, and it's really weird. It's like a fleet. They're not weather balloons, they're not planes.
Multiple objects floating in broad daylight. Not planes, not balloons, at least according to the man filming. But then again, what were they? And then there was another video, also on TikTok, that left people completely stumped.
That's not a plane. That is wild. Look at it.
Some tried brushing it off as a reflection on the camera lens, but the way the object moves, glides across the sky, and then suddenly disappears to the right, without the camera following it, pretty much rules that out. And really, none of this should be surprising. Alaska has a long history with UFOs. From military reports to civilian sightings, the state has been at the center of countless unexplained encounters in the skies. With its vast wilderness, remote landscapes, and limited air traffic in some regions, many believe it's the perfect place for UFO activity to go unnoticed, or at least harder to track. So when strange orbs, cubes, and lights keep showing up in Alaska's skies, maybe it isn't just coincidence. Maybe it's another chapter in a history that's been building for decades. On the 20th of August, 2025, a strange video was uploaded on Reddit, and what it showed had a lot of people shocked. Was it a fish, or was it a lobster? At first glance, it looked like the lobster had hunted a fish and was now wearing it like a home. But was this kind of behavior normal? One comment had the best explanation. It's a crayfish, not a lobster, and this isn't any sort of usual behavior from them. It either crawled into the dried fish head at some point to hide and got stuck, or the guys filming it stuck a fish head on it. I doubt it stuck, because crawfish swim backwards, so that little fish helmet would fly off the first time it scooted through any water. So many believed it was staged. Maybe just the guy messing around to make content and grab some attention online. But I disagree, because animals have been known to do such strange things for ages. For example, hermit crabs have been seen using everything from seashells to pieces of plastic, even old bottles, as their shells. They adapt to whatever they can find. And crayfish themselves are burrowers. By nature, they dig into mud, rocks, and tight spots to protect themselves. So finding one inside a fish head isn't really too far-fetched. There are even stories of octopuses using coconuts and glass jars as armor, or small fish hiding inside jellyfish to avoid predators. Nature is full of creatures finding unusual ways to survive. And sometimes, it looks bizarre to us. So whether that crayfish really crawled into the fish head on its own, or someone helped it for the video, one thing is certain: this kind of odd behavior isn't as unnatural as it seems. On the 9th of February 2004, 21-year-old nursing student Maura Murray vanished without a trace in New Hampshire. That morning, she emailed her nursing school supervisor saying she'd be away for a week due to a family death. But no such death had happened. Later that evening, sometime after 7 p.m., Maura crashed her car into a tree on a rural road in Haverhill. She spoke briefly with a passing bus driver who offered to call the police. Maura asked him not to. Minutes later, the bus driver did call anyway. By 7:46 p.m., police arrived, but Maura was gone. Her car was locked. The airbags had deployed. Inside, they found an empty beer bottle and a damaged box of wine. But her phone, credit cards, and debit card, none of which have ever been used since, were missing. At first, police believed she may have wanted to disappear. But in the years since, searches, investigations, and even a 2019 dig of a suspicious basement have revealed nothing. As of 2023, Maura Murray is still missing. And while the case is already mysterious enough on its own, some have added a cryptid twist to it. When her story made its way online, a few joked that Maura may have been taken by Bigfoot, and in New Hampshire, that isn't too far from local legend, because deep in Coast County, there's talk of something called the Woods Devil, described as a tall, gray-haired cousin of Bigfoot with a long horse-like face. The Woods Devil is said to stalk the forests of northern New Hampshire. It screams loud enough to echo through valleys, but when spotted, it freezes still, often hiding behind trees before vanishing. The first stories date back to lumberjacks in the 1930s, but sightings continued for decades. In 1948, a hunter named George Lavoie claimed he saw it. In 1952, Robert Goulet not only heard its unearthly screech, but even fired at the beast before it ran off. Reports kept surfacing, from a woman in Colebrook in 1983 to travelers along Route 3 in the 1990s. Even recently, strange encounters have kept the Woods Devil legend alive. One trail cam photo circulated online showing a pair of glowing eyes reflecting back in the dark, far higher off the ground than any deer or coyote should have been. Below the eyes, something appeared to be dangling from its mouth. What many swore looked like the limp body of a coyote, as if the creature had caught and carried it with ease. Then, in 2023, a hiking video added fuel to the fire. A man recording his walk through the New Hampshire woods spotted a tall, shadowy figure half hidden behind a tree. At first, it stood perfectly still, almost blending into the bark, but when he shifted closer, the figure slipped out of sight in one swift motion. Viewers online called it a textbook Woods Devil sighting, the creature freezing in place like stone, only to vanish the second it realizes it's been noticed. A classic Woods Devil move, as described in the lore, where the creature is said to hide behind trees when humans approach and only move once the coast is clear. If no trees are nearby, the legend says, the woods devil will stand frozen in place until danger passes. Could Maura have stumbled into the woods that night and crossed paths with something no one was supposed to see? Skeptics argue she ran away on her own or met a tragic fate in the wilderness. But others can't help but notice how her disappearance happened in the same forests where the woods devil legend has lingered for nearly a century. A creature said to freeze, to hide, to wait in silence until the moment is right. On the 26th of August, a man leaving his Airbnb in Vermont decided to snap a couple of pictures before heading out. He didn't realize until later that he had caught something terrifying. With complete darkness everywhere, the only thing visible were two eyes glowing in the dark. And that wasn't the first time Vermont's woods had given people a scare. Another encounter, shared online under the name The End, told the story of 4 campers who returned to a site where they'd once picked up strange radio signals. This time, things were worse. They found stick shrines, carved letters on trees, even antennas hidden in the branches. Then the screams started. At night, their campfire mysteriously lit itself. One of them fell sick. Another swore he saw a tall, wire-limbed figure rise from the trees before vanishing. Footsteps circled their tents. Their radio went dead. The screams grew closer. By the second night, they fled the mountain in the dark, only to wake up sick and drained the next morning, as if the woods had followed them home. The blogger ended his story with one line, "I won't be going back." Whether it's glowing eyes in the dark or campers chased out by unseen forces, Vermont's forests carry an energy that leaves people shaken, and some say never quite the same again. In August 2025, a clip popped up on Reddit showing a strange, sluggish creature moving through shallow water. At first glance, it looked like something out of a horror movie. The footage quickly spread, with people debating if it was an unknown species or even some kind of deep-sea monster. But the truth was a little less terrifying. It turned out to be an Aplysia californica, also known as the California sea hare. This bizarre marine mollusk can grow over 2 feet long, and it's known for its unusual way of defending itself. Instead of a hard shell, it squirts out a purple ink cloud to confuse predators before swimming away. So while it may look alien, it's actually just one of the ocean's strangest but natural residents. These Libyan farmers were simply going about their routine work in the fields when they encountered something that terrified them for life. The next video was uploaded on Instagram by the account UFO World, known for sharing strange extraterrestrial sightings from all around the globe. However, this particular video, posted on January 19th, was unlike anything we've seen before. Captured by Libyan farmers working late into the night, the footage reveals what appears to be a group of bizarre, humanoid creatures attacking them. These silhouettes were humanoid in shape, but the truly unsettling part was their speed and agility. So unnatural, it was hard to believe they were human. According to the farmers, the creatures didn't show outright aggression, but their actions were undeniably eerie. They seemed to be guarding the area, preventing anyone from venturing further. Their sudden appearance and strange behavior were so unnerving that the farmers fled in terror. And since that night, no one has dared return to that spot. Experts in the comments have speculated that these might be an unknown tribe hiding deep in the caves or forests. After all, even today, There are wild tribes we know little about, but why did they reveal themselves now? What exactly are they guarding? Right now, there are more questions than answers, but one thing is clear. The scene captured in that video is nothing short of terrifying. Two hikers were out exploring the dense, misty woods of Salt Fork State Park when they stumbled upon something that almost made their hearts stop. Nestled in Ohio's largest state park, the Salt Fork Lodge and Conference Center has become a prime location for Bigfoot enthusiasts, largely due to more than 36 reported sightings since the mid-1880s. The park's thick forests and eerie valleys, including infamous spots like Morgan's Knob and Bigfoot Ridge, have gained notoriety for strange encounters. Since 2005, the lodge has also hosted the annual Bigfoot Conference, a gathering of researchers and enthusiasts who swap sightings and share evidence. This particular video, from 2020, has provided some compelling new evidence that's shaking up the Bigfoot community. Originally posted on YouTube, the video comes from two hikers who were clearly spooked after capturing a strange, hairy creature wandering through the forest. As they hear mysterious sounds in the distance, the hikers begin filming. When they aim their camera at the source of the noise, something bizarre emerges from the woods. It's winter, and something like a figure can be seen strolling through the woods like it's right at home. With its humanoid posture, wide frame, and thick black fur, it ticks all the boxes of a Bigfoot. However, it seems a bit smaller than usual, which could indicate that this is actually a young or juvenile Bigfoot going about its day.
See all the hair.
Now, I'm not ruling out the possibility that this could be an ape or even a gorilla, but according to experts, there's no known wild population of these creatures in the area. And as for the idea that someone might be wearing a Bigfoot suit, well, the creature's natural walk and overall appearance rule that out. Let's not forget the 36 previous reported sightings in the region. If so many people are seeing something similar, there might be some truth to it, don't you think? Two hikers were out on a remote trail, deep in the Himalayas. But what they stumbled upon out there wasn't something any guidebook could have prepared them for. In the foothills of Nepal, near the Kali-Gandaki River basin, lies a region wrapped in ancient folklore and mystery. These are wild trails where the Himalayas seem to swallow you whole, and the rhododendron forests whisper stories older than time itself. Back in 1994, a seasoned traveler made his way across the Kali-Gandaki basin after trekking through the vast Annapurna range. On his second day, he veered east onto a quiet, rarely used trail and found himself wandering through a dense rhododendron forest. Exhausted and needing a break, he stopped at a small hut where locals were selling yak cheese and tea. As he sat down, something strange caught his eye. Mounted high on a wooden post was a massive skull, nearly twice the size of a human's. It was surrounded by colorful prayer flags and small offerings. It was clear this wasn't some random display. It was something sacred, something deeply respected by the locals. Feeling both curious and unsettled, he grabbed his small point-and-shoot film camera and snapped a photo. That skull? That was something else entirely. When he asked his climbing guide what it was, the guide didn't even pause and said a single word, Yeti, and that was that. They didn't stick around. They packed up and continued along the trail, but that feeling of dread, it stayed with him long after. Now nearly 30 years later, and at the age of 83, he's finally decided to share the photos, ones that had been tucked away in a drawer all this time. Honestly, this one got under my skin. There's something unnerving about how casually the guide says Yeti, like it's just a part of the landscape, whether it's a hoax, a ceremonial construct, or something we're not meant to understand. The reverence the locals showed, that's what sticks with me. And the fact that this traveler waited 30 years to share it, that kind of silence doesn't come from a lie. It comes from fear or respect. Also, old photos like this really show us that our forests hold more than we know. To most of us, hiking sounds like a fun and thrilling adventure, until you spot them. This photo was uploaded a YouTube channel on August 12th, 2017, claiming to have captured proof of a mysterious monster's existence. The video itself only shows one photo and doesn't offer any context, but what it reveals is enough to seriously shake you up. In the photo, taken deep in the forest, you can see a large black humanoid figure standing behind the trees. It looks like it's focused on something, and compared to the surrounding trees, this thing is massive. Its wide shoulders and thick frame suggest that it's not something we're familiar with. It also appears to be covered in thick black fur, but one tree in front of it blocks its face, so we can't really make out its features. People online are calling this a possible Sasquatch sighting, and honestly, it does look like one. Whatever this thing is, captures like these remind us that our forests might be home to strange and hidden creatures. These beings seem elusive, almost impossible to track, yet every now and then, something slips through the cracks. So, what do you think? Bigfoot, or something even stranger and more disturbing? This next video shows an apartment owner capturing something truly bizarre flying through the night sky, and it's not what you'd expect. This footage, recently uploaded to the internet, gives us a strange yet fascinating view from someone's apartment window. As the cam review pans across the night sky, we can clearly spot a bright light cutting through the clouds. But the real surprise comes when this light emerges, revealing a perfectly round object, glowing intensely as it zips across the sky at a surprising speed and altitude. Now, sure, some might say it's just a drone, but in all honesty, I've never seen a drone that emits light that strong, or one shaped like a glowing orb zooming that high up. Maybe it's a new piece of tech. Maybe it's something else entirely. But unless someone from the government wants to step in and give us a solid explanation, we might just have to consider the possibility that this could be real. In November, a bizarre and eerie video surfaced on a YouTube channel called Shimmy Jim Hog. According to the video captions, a homeowner captured this footage around 1:30 in the morning when he started hearing strange noises on his roof, similar to what he had heard the previous night. Armed with his camera, he ventured outside to investigate. As the homeowner stepped outside, he shared with the camera his curiosity about the mysterious sounds. However, to his horror, when he pointed the camera towards the roof, he discovered a truly creepy humanoid figure staring down at him. The man, understandably startled, stumbled backward and rushed inside to grab his firearm. Upon returning, the mysterious creature had vanished into the night. The creature appeared bald with a large, round head, but due to the low light, its facial features remained obscured. To me, this creature resembles what is often referred to as the Rake. Regardless of its identity, the eerie encounter left an impression of something with potentially malevolent intentions. This video unfolds in the Himalayas, capturing footage that left viewers in a state of fear and confusion. Two hikers recorded this scene as they explored the Himalayan range, spotting a large dark creature in the distance leisurely strolling around. This creature, entirely black and seemingly covered in a thick coat of fur, initially gave off the impression of a bear. However, as it came into clearer view, it became evident that it wasn't a bear due to its humanoid posture. Some viewers who have seen the video are skeptical, suggesting it may be the elusive Yeti. The Yeti, often described as an ape-like creature, has been a subject of folklore in the region. So, the question remains, what do you think this creature is? A Yeti, or perhaps something even more strange and unsettling than our familiar classifications? A video was uploaded on Reddit by a user claiming to have a clip of a mountain beast captured on a bridge. In the video, you can see the edge of a forest and the shadow of what seems to be a bridge road. After a few seconds, a large shadow appears, walking on the bridge. The shadow is quite big compared to the bridge and moves around casually. Its outline resembles a humanoid, making it look like a Sasquatch. However, I'm still not completely convinced by the video. It's just a shadow, and we don't have any other evidence that this is some kind of Sasquatch. It's possible that it's just a person walking close to the light source, creating the illusion of a monstrous shadow. However, even if it was a human, I can imagine being really scared if I were there and saw that.
This lady was just minding her own business when something across the street made her feel seriously uncomfortable.
In there, but there's a silhouette, like a shadow of a person.
The video was uploaded on TikTok by a user who usually posts makeup tutorials and beauty content. But on May 3rd, 2022, she posted something that shook TikTok to its core. Instead of a lipstick haul, this time, she pointed her camera out of her window and captured something that sent chills down her spine.
I'm like fucking scared. There is no one standing there.
Across the street, on the side of a building, was a shadow. Not just any shadow, but a human-like silhouette just standing there. No movement, no source, just an eerie stillness that felt wrong. And here's the thing, there was nothing that could have been casting it. No tree, no pole, nothing in sight that could explain why that shadow was there. Yet it stayed, like it was watching her.
I'm like fucking scared. There is no one standing there, but there's a silhouette, like a shadow of a person.
Naturally, TikTok exploded with theories. Some said it was spray paint. Others claimed it had to be a clever edit. But then, the creator posted a follow-up. She shut down the spray paint theory immediately, saying the shadow had disappeared the next day. If it were painted, it wouldn't just vanish. And for the editing accusations, she claimed she had trouble even getting the original video to upload properly, suggesting that whatever this was, it didn't want to be seen. She even addressed another theory, that something behind the building might be casting it. But according to her, there was absolutely nothing back there. Then what are we looking at? A glitch in reality? A visitor from another dimension? Or maybe something that's not supposed to be seen at all? Whatever it was, it left more questions than answers, and one seriously disturbed TikTok feed. Back in 2005, a man living just 15 minutes away from the Parc des Sept Chutes in Quebec went for a hike and took a photo that would haunt anyone who ever planned on going there for ages. And this is the photo he captured. It might look like a regular forest shot at first, but right there, around the bottom of the image, is a tall, dark creature, completely out of place. When you zoom in, you can see something that appears to be standing straight. It's covered in thick hair, has long limbs, and most disturbing of all, a dog-like snout. The photo was taken in broad daylight, and the creature isn't blurry or hidden. It's just there, clearly visible and seemingly holding something in its arms, possibly a small animal or even a baby. And if you look closely, it even seems like the creature is staring straight at the person taking the photo. People have dubbed it the Beast of Seven Chutes, and once this photo surfaced online, the theories exploded. Some say it looks like a typical Bigfoot, but it had a snout. That alone made cryptid hunters suggest it could be something else entirely, a creature known as the Gugwe. Now the Gugwe is a lesser-known type of Bigfoot, but it's said to have more animalistic features, specifically a face resembling a dog or a baboon. It's been described in old Algonquin stories as an aggressive territorial creature that's far more dangerous than your average Sasquatch. And the resemblance in this photo is honestly uncanny. Others think it might be the infamous Dogman, a creature spotted all over North America, especially in places like Michigan and Wisconsin. Personally, I don't think this is just another misidentified bear. The proportions are off. The way it's standing is way too human, and the eyes, they don't look like animal eyes. A video which a couple of years ago mysteriously appeared on the internet before getting deleted soon after had people in shock. Titled the Jabez Cascade video, it showed something that had the whole Bigfoot community go skibidi. Take a look. The video is short, and it shows a massive figure walking between the trees before it disappears. The person recording it might have been too scared to stay there and try to find the creature again, so the video cuts off soon after. At first glance, it might seem like just another shadowy figure in the woods, but if you slow it down and focus on how it moves, it doesn't walk like a person. The way it moved was weird. As for the backstory, the account that originally posted the video, at Jabez Cascade on TikTok, is completely gone, deleted. No username, no profile, just vanished, which only added to the mystery, of course. But with the original source gone, the video just became something no one was ever sure about. And to this day, that's pretty much it. Many called it a hoax, claiming it was a man in a suit and shoulder pads, but that claim was rejected too. That thing is too big for how far this guy is. People saying this is a guy with pads on stilts. Okay, try walking around the woods in stilts. There's rocks, branches, trees, etc. That would be not probable. He wouldn't make it too far if that was the case. On February 7th, 2011, a user named Shabonk182 uploaded a mysterious video on YouTube titled Kuyang Dayak. The footage was unsettling. It appeared like a group of men were looking at something, or someone, in a cage. But what viewers expected to be a dog or something turned out to be something else.
Mulai kah sudah mulai? Mulai ditangkap sudah? Menaik kalap ni ko. Oh, no, kemudian pasoleh sampai ko naik, ada kap ko naik. Gumingaw numut pasoleh.
At first, it just looks weird, like a prank or some homemade costume. But then the creature started moving a little bit. And that's what had people kind of freaked out. The creature's face was even moving, and in the creepiest way possible. Some say the footage is connected to Indonesian folklore. The name Kuyang comes from Dayak mythology, and it's often associated with witches or spirits. But this version is different, because instead of the floating head with organs, people were looking at something locked in a cage. Others say this wasn't folklore at all. Instead, it was a computer-generated face being tested with real-time motion, which would make it one of the earliest deepfake-style videos to go viral in Southeast Asia. Especially since, at the end, the entire video just cuts to a bright blue screen, almost like a system crash or forced shutdown. What's messed up is how real the twitching looks. Even with all the advancements in tech now, this old 2011 clip still gets people commenting that it looks too good to be fake, or maybe too unnatural to be real. To this day, no one has claimed responsibility for the video. No confirmed location, no follow-up footage, and no debunk from the original uploader. Just a creepy masked figure in a cage, blinking like it knows it's being watched. And maybe it was never meant to be seen in the first place. On May 8th, 2025, a video was uploaded on X with the caption, "Can anyone tell me what this is?" The uploader was clearly caught off guard by what he had recorded and posted it in hopes someone online could identify the bizarre thing squirming around in the water. This is what the video showed.
What is it? What the actual hell?
A tiny, worm-like creature is seen wriggling around just beneath the surface of some shallow water. It stays mostly in one spot, flipping and bending in strange patterns. And then you notice the tail, long and thin, like a soggy tampon come to life. Some people said it looked like a parasite. Others joked it was a failed alien experiment. But the truth is, it's something called a rat-tailed maggot. And yes, that's actually its name. It's the larval form of a fly known as the drone fly. And that creepy tail isn't a tail at all. It's a breathing tube. The maggot lives in stagnant, filthy water, often full of sewage or rot, and it uses the tube like a snorkel to breathe from the surface while staying submerged. And it wasn't the first time someone saw it and had been curious about what it was. Another user had posted some images asking the very same question. What are these translucent creatures? It sounds fake, but this thing is basically thriving in what most people would consider uninhabitable. According to entomologists, they've even been found in sewage tanks and animal manure. At first glance, it looks like something out of a horror movie, but it's real, it's natural, and it's been around for a while. A homeowner was home alone, but what started as a normal night for him turned into the kind of nightmare you don't wake up from.
You see that? What the fuck?
This video was originally uploaded to Facebook by a clearly shaken homeowner who just wanted answers. In his recording, we see him standing in the hallway, explaining something eerie. Whenever he turns off the lights, something terrifying appears in the other room. And when he finally shows us what he means, it's enough to make your skin crawl.
In this video, we have someone who's home standing in the hallway looking at his room. He noticed something scary when he turned off the lights.
As the lights go out, a dark, towering shadow suddenly emerges in the other room, like it's standing still, just watching him. It's humanoid in shape, but there's something deeply unsettling about it. It's not just a shadow. It feels malevolent, like it has intentions that are anything but good. Yet, the moment he flips the light back on, it vanishes without a trace.
You see that? What the fuck? What the f?
I don't like this. Not even a little. Because that really looks like someone just standing there, waiting in the dark. But if I force myself to be logical, it could be a trick of the light. Maybe a small lamp or screen in the room is casting a distorted shadow on the wall. And when the main lights come back on, it disappears in the brightness. Still, that shadow didn't just look like a random shape. It looked like it was staring back. Most people on Earth believe in something greater than themselves, a higher power, a divine presence watching over us. But this video right here might just reveal him. This chilling footage went viral after being posted across multiple social media platforms, and it's easy to see why. Filmed by a local during a storm, the camera is pointed at the dark, ominous sky. Everything seems normal until a flash of lightning lights up the clouds, and what it reveals is absolutely soul-shattering. For a split second, a massive shadow appears in the clouds, and it's moving. It's not just big, it's colossal. We're talking the size of a building. The figure has a humanoid shape, with a head, shoulders, and even the faint outline of legs in motion, like some giant being silently walking across the stormy sky.
Oh, holy fucking shit, guys.
I don't know about you guys, but if I was the one who recorded that, I would have turned around and sprinted the other way without even looking back. Now, I'll admit, there's always the possibility that this is a clever edit. One clue is that the cameraman shows no visible reaction after witnessing something that jaw-dropping, which might suggest the figure was added in post-production. It's possible he was simply filming the storm, and someone later turned it into a digital nightmare. But whether it's real or fake, one thing's for sure. Whoever made this video did a terrifyingly good job. The internet agrees. This clip shook everyone to their core. How do you know if your house is haunted? Simple. Just do what this woman did. Set up a camera and let it record. This video comes from TikTok and was recorded by a woman in Russia who had been experiencing strange, unexplained activity in her home. The problem was that no one believed her, so she decided to document it herself. And what she caught over the course of several days is honestly terrifying. It all seemed to center around one room, the laundry room. That's where the weirdness started, and where it kept escalating. In the first clip, she walks into the laundry room, nothing unusual at first, until a piece of cloth near the basket slowly rises on its own. But the moment she turns around, it drops like nothing happened, almost like it was watching her. But then came the second night, and things got worse. She wakes up in the middle of the night to check on her washing machine. As she opens the door to the laundry room, right in front of her, a cloth is hovering mid-air, shaped like a figure, just standing there. She screamed, grabbed it, and threw it out like it was possessed. And honestly, Who could blame her? And just when you think that's the peak of it, it's not. Things kept getting creepier. A ball starts bouncing on its own. A protective salt line she laid across the doorway gets disturbed, like something invisible walked right through it. And then, the laundry room door completely ripped off its hinges and was thrown to the floor like it offended whatever's in there. At this point, it's pretty clear. Something doesn't want her in that laundry room, and from the looks of it, whatever's haunting the place has claimed that room as its own. Honestly, my advice to the homeowner, don't mess with it. Just seal the room, call it a loss, and take your laundry to the nearest laundromat. Cheaper than an exorcist, and way less likely to get you possessed. On September 5th, 2014, something strange was recorded deep in the woods of Bruno, West Virginia. A woman named Norma Trent picked up some of the most chilling, unexplainable sounds ever captured on her property. And to this day, no one knows what it was. This is what it sounded like. People online call these the Trent vocalizations after Norma. And honestly, this isn't just some random audio clip. As people started circulating the video, many opinions came in. People tried breaking the audio down to check if it really was a Bigfoot. Even experts couldn't help but weigh in. It sounds legit to me. It sounds like a big male Sasquatch. And obviously, the same type of animal as the one heard in the famous Ohio Howl recording from 1994. And this is where it gets creepy. In a now archived Facebook group post made by people from the region, multiple residents claim to have heard the exact same thing, years before this audio was ever made public. Whether it was a Sasquatch or not, everyone is pretty sure it wasn't an animal or a human being. So the chances of it being fake are pretty low. A video uploaded on December 5th, 2024 had many perplexed. This is what it showed.
Arizona, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Sorry for my language. I don't know what's going on. Look at all this.
Recorded by a family in Arizona, what they saw were multiple lights circling around in the sky. They were dozens in number. And just as the video was uploaded, people started coming in with their theories. For some, it was something planned to create mass hysteria. For others, they were just drones. But when people were busy figuring this video out, another similar video got uploaded by a different person.
That's not a plane. What is it? I don't know, it's not a plane.
Another situation showed a similar light with the same circular motion, but this time it was only a single one instead of multiple lights. And that is when people started linking it to the Min Min lights. The Min Min lights have been a source of eerie fascination for people, particularly in the outback of Australia, for centuries. While sightings of the lights have been recorded for years, their exact origin and nature are still unclear. The lights are described as bright, glowing orbs that hover near the ground. They seem to flicker or float slowly across the horizon, often appearing in remote, isolated areas. Sometimes they'll vanish and reappear, creating a sense of disorientation for anyone witnessing them. Some witnesses have even claimed to follow the lights, only for them to disappear when they got too close. just like these.
2, 3. And why down on us? Yeah, that group there is moving. That was really big.
Despite numerous attempts to explain the lights, there's still no concrete answer. Some think they could be reflections of distant headlights from cars or other natural sources of light. Others argue that the phenomenon could be related to something atmospheric, like ball lightning or other electrical discharges that occur in the air. However, many people who have seen the Min Min lights claim that no explanation fits the way these lights behave. They are often seen in areas where there are no roads or cars around, and they exhibit behaviors that don't align with known light phenomena. There are many who believe the Min Min lights are something more than just a mere reflection, perhaps a supernatural occurrence or evidence of a phenomenon we don't yet understand. A couple of months ago, a man discovered something that shocked him. It happened in India. According to him, his car cleaner's wife got possessed by a witch, which, of course, he believed. And then he went on to say that his wife started speaking a new language, fluent Tamil, a language she had known nothing about before. This is what xenoglossy is, a strange phenomenon where a person speaks or understands a language they've never learned. It's strange because, in most cases, the individual has had no exposure to the language, yet they can speak it fluently or understand it perfectly. Is it a trick of the mind or something more unexplainable? There have been many cases, like one a person shared on Quora. As a preschool child, I would sleepwalk and speak French. My parents, who did not speak French, thought I was just babbling. Most of the time, xenoglossy is linked with either reincarnation or possession, spirits, ghosts, and all. Clara Germanicelli's case is one of the best examples where a little girl who apparently made a pact with Satan got possessed. Clara was said to be able to speak languages of which she had no previous knowledge. While there is no definitive explanation, the cases that have been documented suggest that xenoglossy challenges everything we think we know about memory and consciousness. Whether it's a trick of the mind or something stranger, the enigma of xenoglossy remains unsolved, continuing to intrigue researchers and the curious alike. This homeowner was out running errands when a sudden alert from his home security system made his blood run cold. The footage comes from a small, quiet town in Mexico. The homeowner had stepped out to grab some supplies when his phone buzzed with a motion alert from his home camera. At first, he thought it might be nothing, until he opened the live feed, and what he saw made his heart drop. His dogs were barking like crazy, pacing, growling, and staring down the empty road, but there was no one there, that is, until it appeared. A pale white figure slowly emerges in the distance, walking silently down the dark road. It's faint, almost like a ghost, and it moves with an eerie stillness that feels unnatural. Now here's the creepy part. The homeowner's house is 45 minutes away from the nearest town, and that's by car. There's no reason for anyone to be walking out there, especially not in the dead of night. So who or what was it? Many viewers believe it's La Llorona, the weeping woman, a ghostly figure from Mexican and Latin American folklore. If you grew up in South America, You've probably heard the chilling tale of a woman cursed to wander the earth in sorrow, crying out for her lost children. But this video, it suggests it might not be just a bedtime story. It might be a terrifying reality. Black Forest, Colorado, has always had a haunted reputation, but what Russell Elliott captured there feels like something ripped straight out of a horror movie. This footage comes from the YouTube channel Paranormal Witness, known for documenting eerie and unexplained encounters. In this particular case, they featured a submission from paranormal enthusiast Russell Elliott, who experienced some truly disturbing events just 2 minutes from the infamous Black Forest haunted house. That house, for those unfamiliar, is rumored to be built on a rainbow vortex, a supposed energy hotspot that has long attracted paranormal investigators, thrill seekers, and ghost hunters alike. One evening, Elliott noticed strange, shifting lights deep in the woods near his home. Sensing something unusual, he grabbed his home camera and followed them, leading him to an old, desolate shed. As he stepped inside, armed only with a dim flashlight, he scanned the dark room, and what he captured is pure nightmare fuel. In the beam of his light, a strange alien-like figure appears, hunched, still, almost hiding, but unmistakably there. With an enlarged head and bulging black eyes, it looked exactly like the typical extraterrestrial beings from abduction lore. The moment he spotted it, Elliott bolted out of the shed.
Come on, man, what?
Now, here's where it gets even creepier. The lights he saw earlier, many viewers believe they were from a spaceship, possibly the same one that brought this thing to the forest. And the shed encounter, that was only one part of Elliott's intense 4-hour investigation. Speaking of aliens, this next clip from Mexico shows that they're not just snooping around. Sometimes, they might actually be our saviors. This footage, taken from an Instagram reel, appears to show something absolutely mind-blowing. Recorded from a mountaintop, the video captures a bright, blazing object streaking down from the sky. According to the uploader, it was a meteor hurtling straight toward Mexico City. But just as the meteor seems moments away from impact, something unbelievable happens. Out of nowhere, a glowing white orb descends above it, and in the blink of an eye, the meteor begins to curve back upward, away from Earth. It genuinely looks like that orb somehow deflected it, steering us away from what could have been a major catastrophe. Now, whether this video is 100% legit or not, I can't say for sure. But if that was an alien intervention, I'm just saying, they've earned themselves a free dinner at my place. Tacos, Wi-Fi, the whole package.
A video surfaced on a Chinese content uploading platform, offering a glimpse of the eerie atmosphere on the roads at 1 in the morning. The footage combines views from 2 different traffic cameras situated across the city. Both cameras captured a mysterious, dark figure casually strolling along the road. This enigmatic entity appeared dark and transparent, with a distinctly humanoid outline. It moved in a manner reminiscent of a person, stepping in a humanoid posture and wandering aimlessly across the street. What makes this encounter more intriguing is that the same figure was recorded by another camera, displaying a similar outline and walking pattern. To me, this apparition resembled a wandering ghost or spirit. Given that it was spotted on 2 separate cameras,
There's a possibility that this could be an authentic sighting of a ghost. However, it's essential to consider alternative explanations, such as potential camera malfunctions, or the chance that someone edited and added a computer-generated ghost in both frames. If you are enjoying this so far, consider subscribing. It really helps me keep this channel going. In 1996, Nintendo launched Pokémon Red, and it turned out to be an instant hit, loved by all. Just like every other game, kids were enjoying it, collecting Pokémon and battling them. But that was until they reached Lavender Town, a location built to be rather spooky. In the earliest Pokémon game, Lavender Town was just like any other town used to collect Pokémon. But something was different. The Pokémon here were dead. A town among many, Lavender was built to feel off. An eerie place with almost no one around, and a graveyard filled with hundreds of graves. But the creepy visuals weren't the worst part. The real horror lay in the music that played when players entered the town. Instead of cheerful background sounds, a strange high-pitched tone played, something said to be picked up only by kids and young teens. Adults never noticed anything, but children started developing symptoms. From insomnia to violent behavior, kids were experiencing it all. And then, it just kept getting worse. Reports claimed that dozens, if not hundreds, of Japanese children ended their lives, giving birth to what's now known as Lavender Town Syndrome, a condition triggered by the disturbing tones layered into the game's audio. Now, this was all a theory, but then came something odd. Game Freak, the game's developer, allegedly modified the music after the reports emerged. An earlier soundtrack of the game was said to be pulled and replaced with a safer version. No official reports of the so-called Lavender Town Syndrome were ever confirmed. It was all a conspiracy theory based on a creepypasta and a legend. And even if all of this was fake, the questions still remain. Why add such a disturbing sound to a children's game in the first place? And why was it quietly changed after the damage was done? The Black Forest, or Schwarzwald, in Germany, is infamous not only for its dense trees and beautiful landscapes, but also for its eerie atmosphere and dark tales of hauntings. This forest has long been considered a place of mystery and folklore, and many claim it's home to some of the creepiest legends known to mankind. And the trees there just tell their own tales. The most infamous is the tale of the Witch of Hinterkaifeck, which claims that in 1922, a farmer and his family were found unalived at their remote homestead, Hinterkaifeck, nestled within the enigmatic woods. The unsolved crime spawned numerous theories, with one common hair-raising thread. A strange, witch-like figure had been seen haunting the vicinity before and after the happening. There are also times when hikers have reported being followed by strange shadows, or hearing footsteps behind them, only to turn around and find no one there. This phenomenon is so common that it's almost expected if you venture into the forest alone. One thing that's particularly eerie is the UFO sightings near the forest, with several people reporting strange lights above the trees. To this day, the Black Forest remains one of the most famous haunted forests in the world. Imagine venturing into the depths of a forest at night, the darkness enveloping everything, and then encountering a sight that sends shivers down your spine. This video, although blurry, captures such a chilling moment. Given its size and the setting, speculation runs wild. Could this be the legendary Bigfoot, often rumored to roam secluded forests? Or might it be a bear, its stature and eyes visible, just enough to be caught on camera? Alternatively, the skeptical mind might wonder if this is a clever hoax, designed to stir up fear or excitement. The ambiguity of the footage, combined with the eerie setting, fuels the mystery. The creature remains unidentified, its intentions unclear, and its reality uncertain. If I was the man filming this video, I would have ran away as fast as possible, as the possibility of me being so close to such a creature during the night into the forest terrifies me. A chilling scenario, set deep within the woods at night, was captured in this unnerving video.
Hey!
High up in one of the towering trees, an unexpected and horrifying sight unfolds. There, amidst the dark silhouettes of the branches, is a girl. But this is no ordinary scene of a child climbing a tree. It's something far more unsettling. The girl is screaming, her cries alarming all the residents, and her movements are erratic, almost as if she's thrashing or bouncing against her will. The scene gives off an intense feeling that she might be possessed, exhibiting behavior that's typically associated with horror tales of individuals overtaken by forces beyond their control. The entire spectacle is deeply unsettling, transforming the natural setting of the woods into a backdrop for a terrifying encounter. The video leaves me with a lingering sense of dread, and the uneasy question, what could have caused such a disturbing display? There is a substance straight out of a horror movie that no one has been able to explain, even to this day.
Yeah, it's just kind of gooey and stretchy. It looks kind of like tar.
This is what many beachgoers have noticed at South Carl.
We're exploring a series of images and clips reporting on peculiar black sticky blobs appearing along the beach. These strange substances spark a wave of curiosity and intrigue, looking so out of this world that people can't help but wonder if they've stumbled upon something alien. The first accounts of this substance dates back to 1986 in Caracas, Venezuela, but it has been appearing every now and then, and there are cases of death from this unknown substance. The blobs are unusual and captivating, creating a buzz among locals and visitors alike. They're gooey and dark, contrasting starkly with the usual beach scenery, leading to all sorts of wild guesses about their origin. Could they be some bizarre form of sea life, pollution, or even evidence of extraterrestrial life? Despite almost 2 decades of study and millions of dollars spent identifying it, the cause of the substance has proven difficult, and there are still no definitive explanations as to how it appeared. I find this video very interesting, as I have never heard of this phenomenon, and it created a mystery yet to be solved. Embark on a mysterious journey into the forest at night, where the video at hand captures something truly unusual. High up in the branches of one of the trees, there's movement that catches the eye. A black, hairy figure skillfully navigating through the limbs. The creature's presence is initially obscured by the dense foliage, but as the video continues, we get a clearer view. What emerges from behind the leaves is astonishing. The creature bears a striking resemblance to what many would identify as Bigfoot, a legendary being that's been the subject of folklore and countless eyewitness accounts. Whether this is a genuine sighting of the elusive Bigfoot or just a trick of the light and shadow in the forest remains open to interpretation. Yet, the video undoubtedly offers a fascinating and unsettling encounter with something extraordinary in the still of the night. I incline to think that this video is real, and the face of the creature, with that creepy smile, gives me shivers down the spine. we're introduced to a girl, seemingly engrossed in making a video, completely oblivious to the eerie occurrence unfolding behind her. As the camera rolls, an unusual and chilling spectacle emerges from behind the wall, just over the girl's shoulder. It's a translucent figure, but its presence is subtle, not drawing any immediate attention from the girl, which adds an even more sinister layer to the unfolding scene. Unexpectedly, the creature retracts, stopping short of actual touch. This moment of near interaction frightened me. Who knows what this creature might have done? It's as if I'm watching a scene from a horror movie, where the boundary between the ordinary and the paranormal is blurred, leaving me on edge and questioning what might happen next. I recently visited Lake Como, one of the deepest lakes in Europe, and I want to share with you some strange things. The lake is known to have all sort of things at its bottom. As you can see in this clip, it is a graveyard for cars, tanks, warplanes, and all sort of things. But the lake is famous for something else, something creepier. It is said that somewhere at its bottom lies a monster called Loriosauro, similar to the one we all know at Loch Ness. The earliest sighting dates to 1946. Eyewitnesses allegedly reported seeing a reptile-like animal swimming in the waters of the lake. It is said to not be aggressive unless disturbed. However, folklore says otherwise, with some encounters being deadly. There are even earlier reports of its existence, dating as old as several hundred years, with old pictures immortalizing these claims. So if you want to visit Italy, I suggest you take a trip to this ancient lake as well. But be careful if you think of diving in the water. If you are enjoying this so far, consider subscribing. It really helps me keep this channel going. In this video, we're introduced to an extraordinary and somewhat unsettling creature that defies the usual expectations of wildlife.
شكله أبد مناخ الربع. شوف راسه شوف كبره.
At first glance, the creature's head resembles that of a dog, equipped with notably sharp teeth, suggesting a fierce nature. However, as the camera continues to record, it reveals that the rest of the creature is far from what one might anticipate following the canine-like head. Instead of a dog's body, the creature boasts a form that eerily mirrors a human's, complete with a humanoid torso and an enlarged belly, which adds an unusual dimension to its appearance. The limbs are present, yet they deviate from the norm. The arms are devoid of hands, and the legs, although shorter, end in feet that bear a resemblance to human feet in their shape. The creature's skin is a distinct gray, enhancing its otherworldly look. Even more intriguing is the fact that, despite appearing unconscious, there are visible signs of breathing, making me anxious thinking about the possibility that it could wake up at any time and harm the person filming. I have no idea what this creature could be, but if you know, let us know in the comments. For more interesting footage, check this out.